Hi, this is Crom Salvatera from Good Aikido. I want to talk to you about the third thing I wish I knew about Aikido before I got started, and that is Aikido is a journey. Aikido is a marathon. It is not a sprint. Usually, this insight or this wisdom is followed up by a question: how long would it take for me to get my black belt? Let me answer this question first. If you train regularly, 2 to 3 times a week, you can get your black belt in 3 to 4 years. Yes, it's like a degree, isn't it? Well, it is. It's a black belt degree. Inuama, because they train every day in the highest intensity. I'm talking about 7 days a week, 6 to 7 days a week, right? Every single month, every single week. One can get a Shodan, that's the first degree black belt, in a year and a half. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. The realistic purpose of a black belt, I got one here. The realistic purpose of a black belt is to hold your pants up and get your gi intact so it doesn't open up. If you really want a black belt, you can go and get one from Amazon for less than $10. But that's not what Aikido is all about. When you get a black belt, you want to be a good Aikido black belt. So you might ask, what's a good Aikido black belt then? Well, technically, you know your techniques. You know your taijutsu. You know your bukiwaza. Your mind is strong. Your spirit is strong. And what do I mean by that? Let's say, if I ask you to go, okay, show me Jusan, Kumi, you'll understand what I meant there. If I ask you, can you do the Sanjuichi no Jo on partner practice? You would know how to do that. Also, a black belt will know their techniques, not just in the body sense, but a black belt can mentally picture the technique in their mind. When I was going through this phase, I remember I could watch my teacher, and it wasn't my teacher that I can see there in the front of the class. I was imagining me doing the technique. I was embodying the technique whilst I watch. Because think about it, right? You're watching something and then you're going to do it, right? So you're watching something and you're going to do it. You just saw someone do it, and now you're not watching anyone anymore. You're actually doing what they did, right? And that's embodying the technique. A black belt, a good one anyway, can do that. A good black belt can watch a teacher or a master or a martial artist from any discipline and literally look at the technique and break it down, reverse engineer it. And like a lot of the masters I know have said, at the mastery level, you don't really learn anymore. You steal the technique. And that comes with it, the ability to do so. This doesn't mean that it will take you 10 years to get a black belt. No, that's just procrastination. Trust me, I've done that, right? When I was on my brown belt, it took me, I think 5 years, 6 years to be on a brown belt, just because I had this false sense that I didn't deserve a black belt, that I wasn't good enough. And as far as I'm concerned, no student of mine should think that way. No, because that's in the dojo. That also extends outside the dojo. Yes, know your capacity and your ability, and you got to know your competency. Your confidence is usually in line with your, well, confidence. Competence, confidence. That's usually in line. When the confidence exceeds the competence, that's a problem. If the competence is up here and the confidence is here, well, that competence is not going to work out because, well, you're not confident in it that you can do it. So that's the balance that you want to be in. So to go back, do not take 10 years to get your black belt. That is just procrastination. That's just giving yourself an excuse not to learn in the most efficient way. And when you think that way, oh, it will take me a lifetime to learn this. Yes, you will probably practice Aikido because you love it so much for a lifetime. Like for me, I tried to retire. I came out of retirement. I didn't really stop because I love Aikido. I love doing it, right? Yes, you will probably do it for a lifetime, but don't give yourself a lifetime to learn something such as a Shodan. I went through this process as well of I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy to go for my black belt. I'm telling you right now, from this point of view, it doesn't work. What I would have done differently is I would have given myself 3 to 4 years to get a Shodan, first degree black belt. If you live in Japan, maybe, that will be shorter. Because the mastery happens after Shodan, this is the thing. Initially, your learning is like this. When you get your Shodan, it's just climbs up. It keeps on going. You'll be more strict on your technique because it's your technique. It's your Aikido. I tell my students this, the most important Aikido in the world is your Aikido, not my Aikido, because my Aikido is my Aikido. Yes, I'm going to be teaching you, but the most important Aikido is your Aikido. The Aikido, the techniques, the lessons, and the practice that lives in you. It's in your mind, it's in your heart, and it's in your hara, or in your soul, right? What would I've done differently is I would have given myself 3 to 4 years to get Shodan. That's first degree black belt. Because the mastery happens after Shodan. Yes, your journey from 6Q to Shodan is your learning phase, right? By Shodan, you're expected to know the techniques. The key word is know the techniques. From Shodan, Nidan, Sandan, and Yondan, that's where mastery happens. And guess what? If your journey is like that, after Shodan, it takes off, becomes exponential. One of my favorite authors is his name is Robert Greene, and he wrote a book, Mastery. He said in that book, it takes 10,000 hours to pretty much master anything. That is, you're studying it, you're thinking about it, and you're doing it. Think about it this way. Let's say a painter. If an apprentice worked every single day and did what the master painter asked him to do, as far as the craft is concerned, after 4 years, that apprentice is now an expert. Give another year or two, that that expert will become a master, because the aim is the mastery of Aikido. You want to master Aikido in a relatively young age so you can enjoy Aikido on that level for a longer period of time. I mean, just to me, that makes sense. Imagine this, right? What if you mastered Aikido when you in your 30s and you lived until you're 70, 80, or 90? When this modern age, that's very, very possible for us, right? Wouldn't that be lovely that if you, let's say you lived until you're 80, that for the next 50 years of your life, you are a master of Aikido, right? In most Aikido schools, the official title Shihan, which means master, happens at Rokyudan, or sixth degree black belt, right? Normally it's awarded to Rokyudans that are active. That means they have a school, They have students, and they're building other students to become black belts. So part of mastery is turning people into leaders, right? Or taking an apprentice and taking them to an expert and a master level. So that's the job of the master. Well, I kind of disagree with that. I don't totally disagree with that. I know some martial arts need that full on length of time for training, but I don't agree with that totally. I kind of disagree with that. That's why the good Aikido grading system only goes to fourth degree black belt or Yondan. Because when you gain your Yondan, I believe you've now entered a level of mastery that no one else can ignore. As far as I'm concerned, you're now an adept. Maybe you're not the grandmaster or the wisest master, but when you hit Yondan, yeah, you've kind of mastered Aikido. And by the way, like all masters said, the learning doesn't stop. And that's the fun part. And that's what I'm trying to say. Imagine if you have mastered Aikido at the age of 30 or 40 and you lived until 80. Wouldn't that be a lovely life? So that's my insight on that one. I wish I knew this when I was starting out, and I would have planned my Aikido journey and my Aikido learning in a different way. This is Crom Salvatera from Good Aikido. I hope you've learned or I've shared something valuable to you. Until next time.